Why do some men say very little, yet women lean in, listen closely, and trust them fully? They don't chase, they don't beg, they don't try to prove anything, and still, she feels safe, she feels drawn, she feels attracted. What is that power? What do these men have that others don't? Let's uncover the secret she feels, but can't explain. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's talk about something no one teaches boys when they grow up. Most of us were told, if you like her, show her. Buy her gifts. Text her first. Tell her how much she means to you. Be nice, be sweet, be available all the time. And maybe you did all of that. But what happened? She stopped calling. She became cold. She said she needed space. And your heart, it broke quietly. You asked yourself, what did I do wrong? I was kind. I gave her everything. I was always there. So why didn't it work? Here's the truth most men don't hear. Women don't fall in love with noise. They fall in love with quiet strength. They don't feel safe with a man who gives everything away too fast. They feel safe with the man who gives with control. Let me paint a picture for you. Think of a mountain. It doesn't move. It doesn't shout, but it stands tall, strong, unshaken. And because of that, it makes the world feel grounded. Storms come, winds blow, but the mountain stays still. Now think of you. Who are you when life gets hard? When she pulls back, do you panic? Do you chase? Or do you stay still, like the mountain? Women don't feel peace around men who can't hold their center. If you lose yourself every time she moves, she feels unsafe. Not because she wants to control you, but because your lack of control shakes the ground under her. Real attraction begins when a man leads his emotions, not the other way around. You don't need to yell. You don't need to argue. You don't need to explain, cry, or prove anything. You just need to be rooted. Your calm is louder than your compliments. Your stillness speaks more than your status. Your control makes her feel like the world is not so scary. And here's something she will never tell you with words, but she will show it with her actions. When a woman feels your quiet power, she opens up. She lets go of control. She trusts you, not just with her heart, but with her soul. But the man who chases her every step, who fears losing her more than losing himself, that man might win her attention for a moment. But he won't hold her respect because she doesn't want to be the center of your world. She wants to walk beside you in a world you already built. So, are you willing to become that calm, strong man who moves with purpose? Are you ready to stop chasing and start leading? Why chasing makes her run and stillness makes her stay? Have you ever chased someone and the faster you ran after them, the faster they pulled away? You were kind. You were giving. You were available, but instead of coming closer, she left. Why? It feels confusing. But there's a reason. Let's talk about what chasing really does to attraction and why stillness has more power than pursuit. Let's be real. We've all done it. She stops texting. She becomes distant. And we panic. So what do? We try harder. We send a good morning text. We offer help she didn't ask for. We ask her, what's wrong? We think, if I just show her how much I care, she'll come back. But instead, she slips further away. And it hurts. It hurts to feel ignored. It hurts to feel like what you gave wasn't enough. But what if the problem isn't that you didn't give enough? What if the real problem is that you gave too much, too soon? Here's a truth most men never hear. Chasing looks like pressure. It might feel like love to you, but to her, it can feel like weight. And when someone feels pressure, they run. Women don't want to be captured. They want to be drawn. There's a difference. Imagine this. You're fishing, but instead of holding the rod steady and waiting, you throw in the line and then dive into the water yelling, "Come here." What do the fish do? They swim away. That's what chasing looks like. It shows you don't trust your own value. It shows you're not okay being alone. It shows fear. And women can feel that fear, even if you don't say a word. Here's the good news. You don't need to chase. You just need to be still and full. Live a life that is so meaningful, so rich, so full of purpose that she wants to be part of it. Not because you begged her to, but because your energy invites her in. Women are drawn to mystery, to calm, to peace. They are pulled in by the man who doesn't need them, but still welcomes them. And here's something wild to think about. When you stop chasing, you gain time. Time to grow, time to build, time to breathe. And during that space, she starts to wonder, why isn't he chasing me? Why does he seem so calm? Did he move on? And curiosity turns into attention. Attention turns into desire. Desire brings her back, but not because you chased, because you paused, because you valued your peace more than panic. That's not manipulation. That's leadership. So here's the question. Are you done running after things that run from you? Are you ready to stand still and let her feel the calm strength in your silence? She doesn't trust the loudest man. She trusts the still one. Why do some men talk a lot, but still get ignored? And why do some men say almost nothing, yet women feel pulled to them? It's not about words. It's about energy. Let me show you why the man who controls his silence becomes the one she trusts the most. Have you ever seen a man walk into a room? He's quiet, he's calm. He doesn't try to get attention. But somehow, everyone looks at him. Even she notices him. Why? It's not because he's loud. It's not because he brags. It's not even because he's the best-looking man in the room. It's because he knows something deep inside. Power doesn't beg. Power doesn't shout. Power is still. Women don't trust chaos. They don't trust neediness. They trust stability. They trust a man who knows who he is, even when he says nothing at all. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a man try too hard to impress you? Too many words. Too much explaining. You could feel his nervous energy. And you didn't trust him, right? Now imagine a man who just stands tall. His breathing is slow. His voice is deep. He looks into your eyes and says only what matters. He doesn't need to fill every silence because he's not afraid of it. Women feel safe with that kind of man. Why? Because if he can control himself, he can lead, he can protect, he can stay calm when life gets hard. And that's what real strength is. It's not just muscles. It's not just money. It's emotional control. A man who can hold his ground without shouting, begging, or proving becomes a rock. And every woman wants to lean on a rock, not a feather that blows in every direction. The reason most relationships fall apart? Too much noise, too much panic, too many men trying to fix, prove, chase, beg, instead of standing still, breathing deeply, and staying calm. You don't need to rush to reply to her message. You don't need to talk for hours to keep her attention. You just need to be grounded. She'll feel it, and she'll come closer, not because you pushed her, but because your stillness feels safe. So next time you think you need to say more, pause, take a deep breath. Let your silence speak. Because sometimes, silence screams strength louder than any words ever could. Want to know what happens when you stop making her the center of your world and start focusing on your purpose? Let's discuss in the next stage. When she feels you don't need her, she starts needing you. Why do women run from the man who gives them everything, but chase the one who never asks for anything at all? It sounds backward, doesn't it? But it's not, because there's something powerful that happens when she feels like you don't need her to feel whole. There's a strange thing that happens when a man starts living for a woman. He thinks it will bring her closer, but it slowly pushes her away. You see, when a man gives up his dreams, his focus, his peace, just to win her over, she may smile at first, but deep down, she starts to feel something is wrong. She doesn't always know why, but something inside her pulls back. Why? Because no woman wants to be your oxygen. She doesn't want to be your air. She wants to breathe beside you, not for you. When a man shows her that he needs her to feel complete, she doesn't feel safe. She feels pressure, and pressure kills attraction. But when you live your life with purpose, when you chase your goals, protect your time, and grow every day, something magical happens. You stop needing her. And because you stop needing her, she starts needing you. Not in a desperate way, not in a clingy way, but in a way that makes her wonder, why isn't he chasing me? Why does he feel so full without me? Why do I miss him, even though he's not trying to make me miss him? That's when attraction grows like fire, because now she sees you as a man with a mission, a man who is strong with or without her, a man who invites her in, but doesn't beg her to stay. You see, love isn't about chasing someone. It's about building a life so full, so rich, so meaningful, that they feel lucky just to be a part of it. Let me tell you something important. When a woman feels like you've made her your everything, she loses interest. But when she sees that you've already built your everything, she wants to join it. So don't stop your life for her. Don't throw away your time, your focus, your strength, just to make her like you. Let her see that you're going to be just fine, whether she comes closer or walks away. Because once she knows you're not chasing, she'll start wondering why. She'll feel the space. She'll feel your calm. And suddenly, she'll want to come back into your world. Not because you asked her to, but because your world feels good, safe, free, and full of quiet power. So, are you ready to learn how scarcity makes your presence more valuable than any gift you could ever buy? Let's move to the next stage. the power of being rare, and why she can't stop thinking about you. Have you ever wondered why the man who is always there gets forgotten? But the one who's rare stays in her thoughts even when he's not around? There's a quiet power in being hard to reach, and once you understand it, you'll never feel the need to chase again. Let's talk about something called scarcity. It means something isn't always easy to get, and because it's not always around, it feels more special. Think about this. If you had ice cream every single day, morning to night, soon it wouldn't feel like a treat anymore, right? It would just feel normal, maybe even boring. But if you only had that ice cream once a week, you'd start looking forward to it. You'd dream about it. You'd wait for it. That one scoop would feel like the best thing in the world. Now here's the truth that most men don't understand. You are the ice cream. Your time, your energy, your attention, it's special. It's valuable. But only if you treat it that way. When you're always available, always texting, always calling, always saying yes, you don't feel rare. You feel common, like background noise. But when you take your time seriously, when you don't drop your plans every time she calls, when you protect your peace and stay focused on your life, suddenly, she starts to feel it. She starts to miss you. She starts to wonder what you're doing. She starts to replay your last words in her head. Why? Because now you're not easy to reach, and that makes her curious. It makes her interested. It makes her want more. This is not about being cold. It's not about playing games. It's about understanding one powerful truth. What's rare becomes valuable, and what's always there often gets ignored. So many men give all their time away. They think that being available all the time will make her feel loved, but instead, it makes them easy to forget. You don't need to prove anything by showing up every second. Let her wonder where you are sometimes. Let her miss you. Let your space speak louder than your words ever could. Because when you're not always around, she begins to feel something she didn't expect. Desire. Not because you begged for it, but because you became something she couldn't easily get. When you stay calm, she feels safe, even if she's not saying it. Why do some men make women feel nervous, while others make them feel safe just by walking into the room? It's not about looks. It's not about money. It's about one quiet strength: emotional calm. Let's talk about something most people miss. Something that works like magic even if no one sees it. It's called emotional mastery, and it's one of the strongest things a man can have. Now, I want you to imagine this. There's a storm outside. The wind is loud. The rain is wild. Everything feels shaky. But inside the house, there's a quiet room. The lights are warm, and it feels safe. That's what you become when you learn to stay calm inside. Even if the world around you is spinning, even if she's feeling overwhelmed, upset, or unsure. If you stay steady, she will feel it. She may not say it with words, but deep inside her heart whispers, "I can trust him." That's because calm men are rare. Most guys today react too fast. They get angry, jealous, or sad in seconds. They argue just to win. They explode when things don't go their way. But the man who breathes deep, who listens before speaking, who doesn't chase drama, That man, he becomes the anchor in her storm. And guess what? The more you show this kind of control, the more she feels like she can relax. Not because you're perfect, but because you're stable. This is what makes her feel safe around you. Not loud promises, not sweet words, but the way you handle pressure with peace. You don't need to yell to be heard. You don't need to chase to be chosen. You don't need to prove your strength. Real strength speaks in silence. And when she sees you stay calm when others panic, she knows one thing deep down. This man is in control. Real confidence is quiet. Fake confidence shouts. Ever wonder why the loudest guy in the room usually feels the weakest inside? And why the quiet one often feels like the strongest? Let's pull back the curtain on what real confidence truly looks like. Let me tell you something you won't hear in most places. Confidence isn't about acting big. It's not about being loud. It's not about wearing expensive stuff or showing off. Nope. Real confidence is quiet, strong, still, like a mountain that doesn't move, even in the wind. Fake confidence shouts. It tries to get attention. It begs people to look. It needs others to say, "Wow, you're great." But real confidence? It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need to prove anything, because it already knows. Now listen close. Women can feel the difference. They may not say it out loud, but they know it. The man who truly believes in himself doesn't rush to impress, doesn't need to explain everything, doesn't crumble when he's tested. He just is. Why? Because his confidence is built on something real. Not looks, not money, not what people think. But on this, he trusts himself. He knows he can handle life. He knows who he is. He knows he's growing. And here's the powerful part. When a woman sees that you don't need her to feel good about yourself, she starts to admire you more. Why? Because you become rare. You're not chasing her to feel whole. You're not clinging to her for approval. You're walking your own path with strength and peace. That's what real confidence looks like. It's quiet, but it speaks louder than any words. Your presence speaks louder than your words. Have you ever walked into a room and felt everyone turn their heads, even when you said nothing? There's a reason for that. And today, we'll talk about how silence can make you magnetic. Most guys think they need to talk a lot, to be liked, to be noticed, to be respected. They try to fill the silence with noise, stories, jokes, opinions, just to be seen. But here's the truth. The most powerful men don't speak unless they need to. And when they do, people listen. Because their silence is not empty. It's full of strength. It's full of calm. It's full of control. Your presence is like your shadow. It follows you wherever you go. And if it's built on peace, purpose, and power, people can feel it without a word. Women especially feel it. She feels safe when a man is calm. She feels safe when a man doesn't rush. She feels safe when a man is comfortable in silence. That's when she leans in. That's when she starts to trust you deeper. Because your silence isn't cold. It's confident. You're not trying to impress. You're not chasing attention. You're grounded, and grounded men are rare. This isn't about ignoring her. This is about not needing to perform. just being steady, being clear, being present. And when she looks at you and sees that calm, she'll feel something she can't explain. A deep peace, a pull toward you, because you're not shaken, you're centered. So, what gives your presence that kind of power? Where does that calm come from? On the next stage, we'll break open the truth about inner peace and how it becomes your quiet superpower. Inner peace is the real power she can feel. What if the calm you feel inside could be felt by her without you saying a single word? What if your peace made her heart slow down and made her feel safe even when everything else felt loud? Let's talk about it. Peace is not just something you feel. It's something you carry. When a man has peace inside him, he walks different. He talks slower. His eyes are steady. His energy is warm, not wild. And guess what? Women feel that peace. They notice it fast. And they are drawn to it. Because most people today are stressed, anxious, lost. They're always chasing something. They're always trying to prove something. But when you're at peace, you don't chase, you don't rush, you don't panic. You trust yourself, you stay calm, you breathe. That's when you become powerful. You stop reacting to everything. You don't explode when something goes wrong. You don't fold under pressure. You stand tall, and in a world full of chaos, that calm becomes a magnet. She may not say it out loud, but when she's around you, she feels it. She feels like she can rest. She feels like she doesn't have to pretend. She feels safe. That's not magic. That's inner peace. And that peace doesn't come from her. It comes from you. From the way you live. From the way you think. From the way you master your emotions without hiding them. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to act tough. Real strength is silent. Real calm is loud, without saying a word. Control isn't about her. It's about you. What if the secret wasn't to win her, but to win yourself? What if the real control was not about power over her feelings, but power over your own world? Let's take it home. Here's something most men don't hear. Control is not about making someone stay. It's about being the kind of man they never want to leave. But it starts with you, not with your words, not with your gifts, not with your promises. It starts with how you live, when no one is watching. Are you clear about your mission? Are you building something that matters? Are you grounded, even when the world shakes? That's real control. Because when you have control of your time, your thoughts, your emotions, your goals, you become rare. And women can feel that. They don't feel chased. They don't feel pressured. They feel invited to something strong. Your control says, I want you, but I don't need you. I care, but I won't collapse if you walk away. I'm open, but I'm not begging. That's not cold. That's real warmth, wrapped in strength. And here's the truth. Women feel safest with the man who feels safe with himself. Not the man who holds on tight from fear, but the one who holds himself together always. That's why you don't have to control her. You just need to control you, your energy, your habits, your path. Because when she sees you lead yourself, she will trust you to lead more than just a moment. She'll trust you to lead life. And that kind of trust, that kind of peace, it's rare, it's quiet, but it's unforgettable. This is the power of the silent man. The man who doesn't chase, the man who doesn't yell, the man who lives with control, peace, purpose, and calm. You don't force her to follow. You walk with strength and let her choose. And most of the time, she will. Because nothing feels safer than being with a man who's already full.